This is how you create questions for tests and quizzes in Schoology. First thing you want to do is you want to go to your course for which you're trying to create the test or quiz. From there, you're going to go to the materials page. Once you're in the materials page, you want to click on Add Materials. Scroll down to Add Test/Quiz. Here it's going to ask us to give it a name. We'll call it the practice test. And give it a due date of tomorrow. I'm going to create a password so it's password protected. Add a category. It's going to go to my test category. This option here allows you to individually assign it to any student that you would like to, or groups of students that you would like to. This green right here shows you that it's published. If it turns white, it's unpublished. So let's make it published. Also gives you the opportunity to change how many points the test is going to be worth. So this is your test template now. It is blank. There's nothing on it yet. First thing we want to do is we want to start adding questions. To do that, click on the Add Question button. We can add a true-false question, multiple choice, ordering, short answer or essay, fill in the blank, matching. We can also import questions from a test bank. We can also import an entire test or quiz. We can insert a page break, and we can also insert text. So let's first look here at the true-false questions. In this box here, you have a lot of different options to choose from. You can add pictures, you can add all kinds of great things into these Schoology tests and quizzes. Typically, when I give a true or false question, I give a short sentence or two here that asks them to answer, is this true or false? I can say true, this statement is true, so you can edit it to help them understand what true and false means per situation. Here you can tell them, the computer rather, that the correct answer is true, because right here it says the answer is true. If it is false, you can make them give you a correction. It will display a correction box when the students select false when taking the test or quiz. Also gives you the option to tell whether it's subjective or not. They're not automatically graded, so keep that in mind. You can make it a timed question as well, and you can also edit the amount of points that it's worth and align it to learning objectives. So I'm going to create this question, and now you'll see it here on the test page. Let's go to multiple choice. Again, you have very similar options here at the top of the screen. You even switch to HTML if you would like. Add some content to this question here. And here where you add your choices. You always want to make sure that you select the box, the correct answer, next to the correct answer. You can select more than one. When that's the case, I would say, please select all correct answers. Or I'll say something along the lines of, choose 3 options from below. You can use your own language there. And you can add or take away more choices here. So if I did 3 here and I said remove blanks, it would only give us 1 option here. However, I could also add those 3 back and then put the correct answers in them. And again, the answer is B, so I'm going to make sure to choose this answer here. Here you also have the ability to randomize the choices. So it's not going to be A, B, C, D when the student takes the test. It's going to be different on every student's screen. If you choose to have more than one correct answer, you can allow for partial credit. And again, you can make it a time question. You can add however many points you would like for it to be worth, and you can align it to learning objectives. So we'll create that question there. Then we'll move on to ordering questions. Ordering questions, I typically like to give students some direction here. Alright, so I like to give them some guidance here when I'm giving them ordering questions. So we'll just put a bunch of dates here. And I'm going to ask the students to put them in chronological order where the oldest date is at the top. I can add and remove blanks again. I can allow partial credit. Let's say if they get at least 2 continuous sequence, then yeah, they get partial credit here. Time question, change the grading, create the question. So we've done true, false, multiple choice, and ordering questions. Let's go down to short answer and essay. Here I'm going to give the students a writing prompt. This writing prompt will include some sort of question at the end of it. It could be saying, please discuss the importance of the paragraphs above, or what was the main idea, anything like that. You can give them a character limit, 400 characters max. It'll shut them down at that point. And again, all of these options here allow video or audio answers from the students. That would be great for students that have a hard time typing or putting words from their head onto any kind of paper or on a computer. And you can even change it to the essay question here, which matters when you change your settings later. You can add any rubric that you've created or create a new rubric here so the students can see how they're going to be graded. I'm going to create this question. Okay, so now we've done 4 different types of questions. Let's move on to the 5th question, fill in the blank. So in order to do this one, I'm going to read the instructions here. So to begin, simply type the sentence you wish the test taker to see. For words that you want to be blank, simply enter an underscore. So let's do that. Let's enter the underscore here. This is an example of a fill in the blank question. So answer number 1 is going to be blank. Give them more options here. So we have a few options for them to choose from. You can even give them a word bank. All of these options here can be the same ones that are up here. I never make it case sensitive just because that adds an extra step in the grading process. That's up to you though. And again, you can change the point values. The last question type is matching. Again, you have all the same options as you've had for most of the questions here. Please match the word the correct definition. And again, you can remove blanks if you would like to. So you want to make sure that your question is here. And the correct answer to this question is to the box to the right above it. Make sure that you have this correct before you push the save button. You can allow partial credit again. And again, you can change the point values. So let's take a look now to see, because we have all of these questions in our tests now. Let's take a look at what it looks like. You do so by clicking on this preview button, and you can start new attempt. Here's the true and false question. Here's our multiple choice, our ordering questions, where the students are able to click and drag these options here to put them in chronological order. This is where the students can type their response for the writing prompt. And this is where students can choose to fill in the blank. Number 1. And here are where, this is where the students can type in the answers here for their matching. When the student's done, they'll just click submit. So those aren't the only options here. There are a few other things that we can look at before we continue. We can add what's called a page break. That means, let's say that if when I was done with question 2 here, I could add a page break and there'd be no further questions on that page. It would only allow for 2 questions to be on that page. And then there's also another option which I usually use after I create the page break, which is called text. And I'll show you what it looks like here. So page break, yes, I want to create a page break. Scroll down here. You'll see that there's an empty bar now. Only option is to delete it. That is your page break. After every page break, what I do is I'll copy and paste the instructions after each page break so they remember what the instructions are. Please take your time. Be sure to answer every question. Create text. So now I'm going to add one more question behind this one here, or after this question, so that you can see what it looks like after you add a page break. Last question. And you always have to select a correct answer, or else it won't let you move on. So again, you'll see here that here's my page break. Here's my instructions after the page break. And here is the question that follows that page break. So let's preview this slide, or this test again. Start new attempt. Now you'll see there's question 6, and now I'm being asked to move on to the next page. Here are my instructions. And I'm going to show you one more interesting thing here about adding questions. You can save questions to a test bank in Schoology. That's something I'll make another video for eventually. But to do so, you're going to click on Add Question. And you want to import here from the question banks. I'm going to choose Individual Questions. Move this up so you can see it here. I'm going to click on Teaching. Go into the folder where I've saved previous questions. And all I have to do is click on the boxes next to them. Any question that I would like to have added to this test, I'm going to select the box next to it, change the points, and click Add Questions. Now, if we come back down here, we'll see that we have a lot more questions after this page break than the one that I created. Let's go preview this test again. Okay, here's the first 6 questions and my page break. There's my instructions, and here are the questions that I've imported from previous tests. That is how you add questions to a test or a quiz.